Welcome to another episode of the Peelerz podcast where we discuss the nitty gritty and pretty side of stripping with your host, Kruella Kraken. And today I have
Sonja Blade.
Sonja Blade. Insert Mortal Kombat music. All right. So it is still the month of May, meaning that it is Mental Health Awareness Month, and we are still discussing mental health thingies. You ready for this?
I don't know.
Yeah, she's nervous, so am I. Today we're talking about sobriety, being sober as a stripper, how it affects others, how it affects you, funny stories, bad stories. We're going to hear it all. We're going to hear it from someone who has gotten completely sober themselves. Very proud of her. Fucking awesome.
Thank you.
Yeah, I'm excited to hear these stories because I've always seen you as like a calm, well-mannered Sonja Blade. Like just, I can't even imagine you like going buck wild at all.
Buck wild.
Buck wild.
Buck wild.
Buck wild.
Been there, done that.
How long have you been dancing?
I started dancing in 2010.
That is
almost 14 years ago.
14 years. Holy shit.
Yes.
Fuck.
Took some breaks.
Yeah.
Took some breaks, but came back in 2017 and have been full-time since then.
Okay. All right. So, getting sober as a dancer starts off fun, obviously. Starts off as a very fun time. We're surrounded by alcohol. We're surrounded by drugs. There's money to be spent. There's people who'd even buy the drinks for us, of course. So it's definitely very easy to slip into that slippery slope. When did you know that it was time to sober up? Was there a moment?
There was a moment. It was back in 2019 that I started looking at my alcoholism and thinking, this isn't normal. You know, I shouldn't be kicking drinks off tables. I shouldn't be throwing my promo at customers, you know, on stage. But it was mostly the management at the club that was like, I think it's time to take it down a notch. You know, others were recognizing it. And so with others recognizing it and coming to me about it, that's when I really started to, I guess, have that real, raw look at myself.
Yeah.
But was the support there? Not really.
No?
No. When I decided to get sober, I asked for a sobriety contract. And the words given to me was, well, how are you going to sell buyouts? How are you going to do buyouts?
Other people have sobriety contracts and still have buyouts. What the hell?
I kind of looked at that like, okay, well, maybe this is my job. Maybe I'm just supposed to be a drunk dancer. Maybe I'm just supposed to be, you know, that drinking buddy with customers. So it kind of,
yeah,
you know, it wasn't until 2020 when COVID hit and the clubs closed and I was drinking 2 bottles of wine a day, you know, not even working.
Yeah.
That I woke up May 9th, 2020 and said, fuck this. This is not how I want to live. I don't feel good. Yeah. I don't love myself. And this isn't going to be what defines me. I'm not going to be known as that dancer that went out, you know, a complete alcoholic mess.
Yeah.
So I pretty much reinvented myself and started my sobriety journey.
You did reinvent yourself because I like the kicking, the drinks and stuff. Couldn't even fathom it. Couldn't even imagine it. Haven't even heard of that. You know, when people bring up your name, it's like, sweet, calm Sonja. You know, like she's a little sweetheart. That's what everyone says. Not like, oh yeah, remember that time she kicked over drinks? That's crazy. Wow. Absolutely. So when it comes to you being, I don't want to say an elder dancer, but a veteran. I hate all these words that make us seem old when we're really not that old. Being one of the more experienced dancers. When you see young girls starting, is there ever red flags that just makes you want to like sit down and talk with them and be like, maybe this isn't the job for you, or maybe you need to sober up?
Absolutely. But at the same time, they're adults and it's not my business.
Yeah.
You know, if they want to come to me and talk, and I've had many girls over the years come and talk to me about quitting drinking or, you know, sobriety. I'm always there. I'm always an open ear. I'm always there to lend advice. I see myself in a lot of the young dancers, you know, with how they drink and how they party at work. And it's like, oof, that's slippery. Oof, watch yourself.
Yeah.
But it is really not my business to interject, to sit somebody down and say, hey, you got a problem, sweetheart.
Me and a friend were discussing another friend whose addiction is definitely taking over their life, and you're probably the best person to ask. This person is such a good human that I don't think they are capable of hitting a rock bottom that would make people say, I never want to speak to you again. You need to get sober. And we wanted to talk to her about how it's affecting her health. She is no longer working whatsoever. It's affecting all of her relationships. And we're like, mostly it's the health thing. Her health is just heavily declining, and it fucking worries us. But there's no way in hell that this girl could ever do anything bad enough to make us go like, hey, this is the last straw. We need to talk to you about your addiction. Is there a way to go about that, or do we just let it slide? Or this is something that's like laid heavily on our conscience for a long time, that we want her to know that we care. We want her to stop drinking, but she's also not doing anything bad enough to hit that rock bottom that you usually see on these intervention shows.
Well, everybody's rock bottom is different.
Yeah.
Right. And it's not up to us to say, well, that's your rock bottom, sweetheart. Like it's time to make some changes. I think just being there for that person is important. I think like slamming the fact that, hey, look into recovery. Hey, you need to quit drinking. I think that can push people further away.
Yeah, or them hiding it and being ashamed of it. Yes.
Because I definitely was hiding it. I was that girl in the change room with, the vodka in the coffee mug. Because if I drank at work, I'd be sent home or fired or whatever.
Yeah.
But I mean, from all that you're saying, not working, having troubles with relationships and friendships, like that could be somebody's rock bottom right there.
Yeah, it really could. I feel like the health too, as soon as it's starting to affect her health, I just like, I don't want to stand by and watch it, but also who am I to say how bad it is? Especially like the more and more time I take away from her, I just feel too entitled to be, putting her, like not putting her down, but sitting her down and saying like, I'm concerned. And I also don't want her hiding it from me. I don't want her to feel ashamed to be around me. I don't want her to not hang out with me because I'm saying this. But it is like such a tricky situation, especially when like I'm not sober. Who am I to say, right? Like,
right.
I've never gone through that. I don't know if I'm just like being ignorant trying to talk to her. But yeah, no, that is great advice to always obviously be there for that person, no matter what.
No matter what. But at the same time, I mean, if it's costing you your I don't even know what word to call it.
It's like my conscience, I don't know, feels guilty.
Yeah, like if it's costing you something, then I mean, you can't just be stuck in that situation. Maybe having a conversation about how you're feeling, how it makes you feel, and why you've kind of stepped back, just so she knows where you're coming from.
No, that is a great point, actually, because she is probably wondering why we aren't as close as we used to be.
Yeah, I would maybe start there.
Hell yeah.
Just so she knows, just so she's aware. And it might even start other conversations. It might have her think in her own head, okay, maybe I do need to look at this a little more seriously.
Right, yeah. I don't know, like, when I think of myself as such an unserious person that I feel like if I did talk to someone about something serious, that it wouldn't be taken seriously. But any conversation's worth having, right?
Oh, absolutely. Yeah. Absolutely. And you can always start it off with, this is a serious conversation.
Yeah. No joking.
Make it known.
I don't think we could be serious even if we tried. This girl's so goofy. God, I love her. Okay. All right. Heavy subjects. Let's light it up for 1 second. With every bad, there's good. So I'm sure you have do you have funny stories that go along with drinking? Is there
oh God.
Because it starts off fucking awesome. We have all these great times, and then it turns into not so awesome great times.
Yeah. I was pretty lucky that I did have some moments at work that were bad, obviously. But most of my bad moments were in my own personal life and time, not seen at the club. It was what happened when I was off work, Definitely I have some funny stories. My hair extensions saved my life.
I'm trying to think of a scenario where and how they could.
So this is when Diamonds was open back in 2019. End of the night, I was plastered. You remember going to the back change room, all those little high top tables, the women's bathroom right there, the manager's office right there. I knew I couldn't drive, so I asked Marky to give me a ride home. All of a sudden, I go flying back into these tables. I smoke the back of my head off this table. Table falls down, breaks. I did not have a scratch on me. I didn't have a lump. I didn't have a bump. I didn't have a concussion. I had just recently, within days, gotten like so much, volume and hair extensions put in that my hair extensions literally saved me.
Cushioned the blow.
It cushioned the blow. The only thing that sucked was I did have to replace that table. I think I paid like $600 for that table.
What?
Yeah, because I did break it. I mean, I did fall
in. Is that
in.
how much our tables cost?
Well, I had a customer purchase it.
Okay.
Well, pay for it.
Yeah.
You know, because I was drinking with him that night.
It's his fault, yeah.
Yeah, he felt really bad. You know,
God.
He was the one ordering the drinks, ordering the shots. Keep it coming, keep it coming. Mm-hmm. So, hair extensions saved my life that night.
Oh, fuck yeah. I love it. Love it. Hate it. Hate that you got hurt. But fuck, that is... Now you know, ladies. Going on stage, you want to do aerials, and you're worried about hitting your head on the floor, get hair extensions.
Hair helmet.
Did you always have a go-to drink? Was it always like, oh, Sonja's here, like, I'm going to get her vodka crown ready? Or like, when I walk up to the bar, it's always like, they know what I want, right? It's a Vizzy or a shot of chartreuse, but like, nothing in between.
You know what? Nothing was off the table for me. I drank anything and everything. If it contained alcohol, I wanted it.
Oh, fuck.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah?
Oh, yeah. But I loved my Burt Reynolds.
Oh, God. Were you always hungover?
No, not always.
You're just
not always.
Used to it?
I was so used to it. I think the biggest thing was the anxiety.
Oh, my God, yeah.
The anxiety was a bit much. You know, what did I say? What did I do? Because there were nights where I was blackout drunk. There were nights that I had to message, my sister the following morning. Did I do my last show? Yeah, you did your last show. You got up there. You did it like normal. But here I am, blackout drunk, not even remembering if I got on stage or not. So dangerous.
That's wild, and we just climb this pole like it's nothing, too.
Right?
Like... I've seen her sister on stage too, and me and Anya were actually watching it, and we're like, it doesn't matter if she is injured, sick, drunk, like half asleep, same show, same moves, same energy. Like, that chick can put on a show no matter what. Well,
totally.
all of us can. Yeah.
Totally.
Blows my mind. So, anything and everything when it comes to drinking, did it ever push into more than just drinking?
Never when I was working in clubs.
Buckley, that's her coffee, not yours.
Yeah, don't knock that over.
Come here, over here.
I mean, I'm not a stranger to hard drugs. In the past, yes, but when I was a dancer, no. It was just strictly alcohol. That was my drug of choice.
And it really is that bad. I know that a lot of people don't think that their addiction is a problem because it might be just weed. It might be just alcohol. It's all poison. You do it every day, all day. It's poison. Same with smoking weed, guys. I know. Mm-hmm. I only smoke it at night now. I know it's a fucking problem. I know it affects my brain. I had a problem drinking too much water. My livers weren't processing. Liver wasn't processing things properly because I was physically drinking too much water. Anything in an excess is bad for you. And now they're like learning that it leads to cancer and all this other shit. And like your fucking brain gets erased for the whole night. Like, it is a serious problem. And just because you're only drinking doesn't mean it's that bad. It is. It is something to consider that it is a drug. It's easy, accessible. It's not that expensive. People don't think it's that bad, but it is.
Yes.
Yeah.
But society has made it, such a normal pleasure.
Yeah.
You can drink in theaters. You can drink at
the zoo.
Yeah, the zoo. You can go to parks now and have open liquor. Mm-hmm. It's made it so accessible.
As a dancer who is now dating, or even at the club, when you don't want to drink, it's much easier to fake it. Obviously, you can't do that on a date. But like, if a guy in a buyout or on a date with you, and he gets a beer, even if it's just one beer, and you're like, oh no, I don't want anything. What do you mean? What's wrong? Like, it's like you get treated a little bit like a freak, or people get like really, really self-conscious around you. Like, I've been to a party where I just stopped by to pick up a friend. I had a water bottle, and everyone's like, oh yeah, I should drink more water. I'm like, have your fun. It's fine. I'm not judging you, but like for one night, I'm just being sober. But it's wild how people will take it so personally if you're not drinking, especially at the club. Do you fake drink or do you just say I don't drink?
Oh God, no, I don't fake drink. No, I hold my sobriety and my recovery very high. I soapbox it. I'm very open that I do not drink. I am sober, and majority of the customers say I'm proud of you.
Yeah, they commend you for it. Absolutely.
Absolutely.
Yeah.
You know, I wish I could do that. Anybody can get sober. Anybody can.
Yeah.
You just have to have the will.
Yeah.
You know, obviously there are customers that come in there that want their dancer to be drinking with them. They want to party. They want that drinking friend, bro, whatever. But that's just not me. I can't compromise myself.
And I do think it's so important for people who are sober to state that. Because as someone who's not sober, if I accidentally get handed a real drink instead of a fake drink, that's not going to send me over the edge. It's not going to push me into
a relapse,
all that kind of stuff. Because there has been times where I tell the bartender, when I say vodka, I want a shot of water. When I say vodka water, I want just water. And like sometimes they come to me and it is a vodka water. Yes, I'll have a sip or two. I'll put it down. I won't finish it. But like that isn't good for someone who is sober, right?
Exactly.
I think that's very important. Exactly. I had a manager, not this club, not any club near us, and there was a girl dancing and she was just like, oh, I don't drink. She's sober. Was saying it very out loud to this table to like let them know that they just can't pressure her. And the manager was like, oh, I hate when girls do that because then they lose out on sales. Blah, 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 blah. I'm like, she's bought out right now. How is she losing out on any sales? Like they have a bottle. They're still going to drink the alcohol that's there. But like no one's losing out on money. I totally thought different of that manager after because I was like, that is so fucked up to say.
It is. And that's what I mean by sometimes there's just not support in the clubs when it comes to being a sober dancer.
Yeah.
I
don't think you're going to say something.
I kind of had to hold my tongue sometimes, you know, because I am still in the industry and I don't want things to, you know, affect my job, right? Like I don't want that to be the reason why I don't get booked.
Like your sobriety?
Yeah.
So if you had a piece of advice to give to managers for those who seek sobriety, what would that advice be?
It would be to be supportive. You know, maybe take a step back. If you can't talk to that person in the moment, maybe you need to collect yourself and figure out what you need to say. You know, like those off the cuff comments, like what I got, like, well, how are you gonna sell buyouts? You know, that wasn't helpful for me.
Not at all.
No. My advice would be, I mean, we're all different people. We all have different lifestyles, you know, outside of the club. And yes, we do have to bring those lifestyles into the club.
Yes.
You know, it's very hard to not be yourself in this job. You have to be yourself in this job.
Yeah.
You know, because that's a slippery slope too. Faking, you know, being somebody you're not.
And then it turns into your everyday life. And then you're texting your customers all day and you have to be this character all the time. I see it a lot with the freelancers.
It's draining.
It is. So,
yeah, you have to be yourself. And there are going to be girls that are sober or are in recovery. And honestly, just like the I'm proud of you, just asking if we need anything, just being supportive.
Yeah.
You know, like there's always money to be made, whether you're sober or not.
Absolutely.
You know, and for me, I can't do the whole fake drink thing, you know, I'm because that's just not true to who I am. And it doesn't help me in my recovery. Like,
yeah,
you know, it has been an emotional roller coaster at times.
Oh, I don't doubt it. Cause like we use alcohol, drugs and everything to numb. Feel better,
to cope,
to get out of our skin. Like I sell way more dances when I have a few drinks because I'm out of my skin. I'm like, yeah, I'm a different human, right? Like I'm far more confident. I don't care what people think. You know, that sense of ambition's just like gone. You know?
Yeah. Oh, absolutely. I love doing my job sober.
Yeah.
I love being sober because I'm able to be truly who I am, 100% who I am. Goofy, weird, funny. And I have all control of my senses.
Yeah.
You know, I have found it's much easier to do my job. I know that sounds weird, but it is. not having alcohol to cope with my job has made it easier to do my job because I am fully aware of my surroundings. I'm able to control myself. I'm able to react better.
Remember the next day. Yeah.
Be up the next day. And I just feel like I'm able to diffuse situations better, you know, because alcohol, some people don't do well on alcohol.
It magnifies their reaction.
It does. Or they become mean. Or they become...
Crying in the change room.
Crying in the change room.
Yeah.
It just changes your emotions.
Absolutely. Absolutely. Are you doing anything to celebrate? Because, like, when this airs, it's going to be, what, the 8th? Tomorrow is the 8th?
Tomorrow the 8th?
Yeah, tomorrow's the 8th. So the Thursday after that this is posted.
Yeah.
What are you planning to do to celebrate your sobriety birthday?
Oh my goodness. Yes. This Thursday. It's my 4 years. I'm probably going to be in bed early. I think I'll wait till the weekend to go out and celebrate. I definitely want to go out and watch the Oilers game.
Oh yeah. Hell yeah.
Hell yeah.
Fuck yeah.
Yeah, I'll probably stop into a strip club. You know?
Yeah.
But
one of the many in Edmonton. There's so many to choose from.
So many.
So many.
I might have to just, like, hop them.
Yeah. You can only spend 5 minutes at each one because there's so many strip clubs. That's very condescending for anyone who watches outside of Edmonton. We only have 2 strip clubs.
Well, 3.
3, but one is...
You're so cute.
It's not really, like, our company, so we don't really go there because we don't know the girls and stuff.
Yeah.
Yeah, no shame to them whatsoever. We just don't know that club.
No.
Yeah. Oh, that's fucking exciting. That's actually so fucking crazy and cool because I've known you for 8 years now, and this really does go to show how positivity will always be the best thing, because I've seen you drinking, I've seen you drunk, I've seen you get crazy, I've seen you get a little wild, but in my head I can only think of you as you are now. As you're sober, because it feels like the real you. Buckley, no coffee for you. Come here.
No, much too good for puppies.
It's outstanding. It's beautiful. It's lovely. Do you find that you lost friendships getting sober because of people that wanted to continue drinking and feel ashamed around you or self-conscious or...
No.
No?
No, I haven't.
Fucking awesome.
Yes. I mean, I'm practically a loner anyways.
Yeah.
But drinking, people drinking doesn't bother me, right? Because their drinking wasn't the problem. It was my drinking.
Yeah.
Obviously, I'm still around friends and family that drink. But I've done that work to be in a place, to be around that.
Absolutely. I do think it does take work. I've seen people who have done the work and who haven't done the work, both sober. And, like, the ones who haven't done the work still have a lot to go through. It's not just not drinking won't fix it. Mm-hmm. There's so much more behind that. There's relationships you have to fix. There's a relationship with yourself you have to fix. Why you drank in the first place. Why it got so bad. All of that stuff. Exactly. You can't just fix it by tossing away just the alcohol.
Yeah.
Yeah.
They call that a dry drunk.
A dry drunk? I didn't even know that had a term. That's fucking crazy.
Yes.
Okay.
I'm obviously no stranger to AA. I've been in the rooms. I actually, my first AA meeting was when I was 16 years old.
Oh, fuck.
Yes.
So this is something you've been struggling with for a while?
My whole life.
Okay.
Well, I shouldn't say whole life, but since the age of, 14, 15 and around,
Okay.
The experimenting days.
Okay, so it didn't start in the club. It started far before that.
Started way before that.
Okay.
Absolutely. But I thought I was a normal drinker,
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
But there is such a term as a dry drunk, where you continue to do the same behaviors and act the same as if you are still drinking.
Yes.
But you are alcohol free.
Yes. My old boss at the tattoo shop would not rub it in our face all the time, but whenever he was unruly, he was rude, he was very reactive, and whenever we'd be like, hey, this is inappropriate, what you're doing. Either how you're reacting or what you're doing in your life. He was even making very inappropriate decisions, dating girls that were way too young. Like, he was way too old to be dating these girls. And we'd bring this up to him and caring about him. Like, you're our boss. You write our paychecks. This is wrong. And he'd throw it in our face. Well, I did meth for 12 years and I quit. I'm like, but that's like proud of you. Fucking awesome. Can't imagine how bad it would be if you were still on meth.
Right.
But you don't get to be horrible to people just because you're sober now.
Right.
There's so much work that he had to do, and he didn't see that because he thought the work was the hardest part, which is getting sober.
Yes.
But
Getting clean.
Gets much, much harder to deal with those emotions, why you did it, why you're doing it for so long, blah, blah, blah. Did you ever like have that aha moment where it's like, oh, this is the reason why, or did you always know the reason why alcohol was a problem for you?
I always knew the reason why. I mean, obviously, most people drink because of trauma.
Yeah.
Right?
Absolutely.
Past trauma. Mm-hmm. Stuff that I just couldn't deal with or didn't want to deal with.
Didn't want to face.
Mm-hmm. Coping with my job. You know, we obviously...
Our jobs can get rough, guys.
It can get rough.
It can get very rough.
You know,
yeah.
We are physically and sexually and verbally and, you know, mentally abused, assaulted some nights. We don't deal with all good people all the time, you know. So, yeah, definitely. I was using it to cope with traumas and parts of my job that are also traumatic.
Yes.
You know? But, like, when I got sober, that's what I mean, like, doing the inner work, you know? Seeing a therapist, dealing with those traumas, learning how to cope with my job. Mm-hmm. And here I am today, coping with my job, dealt with the traumas.
Yeah.
You know? And I'm happy. I'm actually happy.
Fuck yeah.
I don't need a drink to numb, to cope, to feel good about myself, to give me confidence. I don't need it. I don't need it because it's been there. It's always been there. It was just stuffed down.
Yeah.
With everything.
I feel that for sure. There's definitely times that I'll take, like, when we were talking about the lore in the past episode about people saying things about you and whatnot, that week, it was probably the most I've drank in a long time. I think I got drunk 3 times that week, you know, just dealing with it because I'd feel or hear another thing about myself. And then I'm like, I need a shot because it would take the edge off. Felt 100% worse the next day. Mm-hmm. The anxiety with the problems that I didn't deal with that night made it so much fucking worse. Mm-hmm. It made the problem way bigger in my head. Made me want to drink for the rest of the week just so I didn't have to feel it. So that makes total sense. It's so rough sometimes with our job. It's so easily accessible to be like, oh, I'm having a rough night. Let me take 4 steps over here and I can have a shot.
Yes.
Yeah.
Absolutely. Especially when people are buying the alcohol.
Yeah.
You know, you kind of don't feel bad. You're like, oh, it's not affecting my wallet. Mm-hmm. But it's affecting your brain. It's affecting your body. It's affecting your life.
Yeah.
You know? And
Absolutely. Absolutely. I feel that way with the podcast too. I just feel like when we crack open a bottle of champagne, like we feel more loosey-goosey. And I feel like it's even in our head because we won't finish the bottle of champagne. We'll have like a glass or 2 each. And it's like, but in our head, we're like, okay, I'm loosey-goosey now. Like I can talk way more. I'm not in my head. I'm more concentrating on the booze than I am on being filmed, this and that. It's wild how much it does affect your brain, how it becomes almost an everyday thing with everyone around you.
Absolutely.
Hell yeah.
It seems like alcohol is there to celebrate with anything and everything.
Yeah.
I mean, baby reveals, people get drunk at.
As the mom has to stay sober, everyone gets baby showers too. I see that like, oh,
baby showers.
What kind of rosé should we bring to the baby shower? I'm like, they can't drink.
Right?
Yeah.
The gender reveal parties.
Yeah.
Like, it's everywhere.
Oh, God.
Kids' birthday parties.
Yeah. I was talking to my one Tinder date, and he's just like, oh, I'm at my nephew's birthday party. I'm a little drunk. I'm like, why? Like, what are you doing that you need to be a little drunk for? Like, what is there to put up with that's so bad? And
well, have you been around kids lately?
No, that's why I removed my tubes. Yeah. So, I want to know the craziest story where you didn't get fired. I want to know what happened.
Oh, my God.
And you didn't get any repercussions for it. Because there's sometimes at Shade or even Pete's, anywhere, really, Fort Mac, Grand Prairie, where I've seen some stuff and I'm like, wow, I'm never going to see this girl on stage again. And the next day she's in the change room. You know, like,
right,
oh.
Right. I don't think anything got too bad.
No.
For me, there was a moment, I was blackout drunk. This is on Diamond's stage. Dave could definitely recall this story.
Oh, God.
Yeah, it ended with him, Sonja, get the fuck off the stage now. Blackout drunk. It was a weekend. Some customer had pissed me off, obviously. And like I was speaking earlier, like reacting to rude customers and just your reactions entirely. I mean, this guy sent me over the edge. So I just sat there whipping my promo at this guy. Like everything. Don't care. I'm just throwing it all at you.
Yeah.
I thought I would get fired after that for sure. Wow. But I didn't.
Wow. What? Yeah. Mm-hmm.
They must have really needed me on stage that week. I don't know. I don't know. Maybe being fired would have been a good rock bottom. However, in March of 2020, before COVID did happen, I was sent home because I took a shot. I was on sobriety contract, took one shot. I was already drunk already. I had shown up to the club drunk. Took a shot and was asked to go home, and I didn't come back until I think July or August of 2021. And I had already been a full year sober.
Good for them to hold them to a sobriety contract, because I feel like the sobriety contract sometimes is very willy-nilly for people.
Wishy-washy.
Yes. Some people it's like, you have one shot, you're done. And some people it's like, well, I didn't see you take that shot.
Yeah.
It should definitely be followed and structured, and,
yes.
They should go through with it. So you started your sobriety 2019?
No, May 9th of 2020.
Of 2020. Did you find that relapsing was a big thing for you, or did that only happen a few times, or did it happen at all?
I have not had a drink. I have not had a relapse since I quit drinking in 2020.
Wow.
Yes. I have had a couple moments where I've ordered a drink, a virgin drink, and I was served alcohol. I was served the actual cocktail. But right away, after not drinking alcohol for so long, you can taste it in that first little mini sip.
Oh,
right?
yeah, absolutely.
Thankfully, I'm so solidified in my recovery, and I want this sober life so bad that it didn't cause me to relapse. It was send this back to the bar. This has alcohol in it.
Yeah, and listen closely, because
the mocktail.
Yeah.
I'd like the mocktail, please.
Absolutely. Fuck, that's awesome.
Yeah. Yeah, it is.
Yeah.
I never thought I would get this far.
Really?
I really didn't. Because like I said, I had my first AA meeting was at 16 years old. I'm 39 now. I quit when I was 35.
Yeah.
So it took me a good 15 or so years, 15, 20 years to really get it. But I'm a lucky one.
Yes, very. I have to say that you are, absolutely, because it's a slippery slope to go back. It's so easy to go back to it. It's right in front of you all the time, and everyone's sitting around you. Yeah,
all the time. And I mean, it's shitty to admit, and I hate to have to say it, but I'm not embarrassed about it. I'm not ashamed about the things that I did when I was out there and in my addiction. Mm-hmm. I drove drunk all the time. I drove drunk home from the club all the time. Fuck. Yeah.
Yeah.
And I could have killed myself. I could have killed others. But I was lucky that nothing ever happened.
Yeah. We did have that customer, you know who I'm talking about?
Yes, I do.
I won't say his name, but he did get very, very drunk, and he drove home. And this affects all of us now. And I love that they take it a lot more serious at Shade and other clubs is to drive home sober. Mm-hmm. That he drove home, and he did hit a pole face on, and now he's paralyzed for the rest of his life. And this sucks because we all love this guy.
Absolutely.
We know him well. He used to come in every day. We know him by his first name. He knows us by our real names. We know this guy. He cared about us. We cared about him. And all everyone can say is fuck, it just shouldn't have happened. Thank God no one else was involved. Thank God that he doesn't have to have that on his conscience all the fucking time, as on top of being permanently paralyzed, that he also ended a life, but he could have ended his own. Mm-hmm. So scary and terrifying. It was so close to us. And yeah, that definitely made me realize fuck, even after 3 drinks, I should not be driving. And anyway,
yes.
Yeah, and there's so many girls that I still see on outside clubs too that drive home, and it's Oh my God. Oh my God. And they're confident. They get home safe. They do it all the time. But like, one fucking time. And he was 43. One
young.
time. Yeah. And like, he's probably been drinking his whole life too and done it a million times and thought it was no big deal and like changed forever. We never see him at the club anymore for obvious reasons. Like, he can't come.
Of course.
Yeah. And it's so fucking sad. And, you know, there's that sense of we want to feel really, really bad for him. But like, he's the only one to blame, which is makes it so much worse, you know, that, like, it was at his own hands. It was his own choices that put him there. And that's something that he has to live with. And it's something that we all have to mourn. Like, he's not dead, but we do have to mourn missing him, you know,
Absolutely.
Not having him around. He was fucking hilarious. So yeah, that is a very good point. You know, you never notice how many bad decisions you're making until you're completely sober.
Yes.
Yeah.
Yes. I look back and it's like, wow, shouldn't have done that. Shouldn't have done that. Mm-hmm. But alcohol, it makes you make those bad decisions.
Yes.
You know, because you aren't in your right mind.
No.
You have no inhibitions. Mm-hmm. It gives you that confidence.
Yeah, and it makes you see people for who they aren't or who they are, or yeah, and we've all, you know, like gone on a date that we thought went really well, and then you get to know them sober, and you're like, I'm not even attracted to you, you know? Mm-hmm. It was just the alcohol talking, and it's that easy. It can switch your thoughts in your mind. I hate the drunk thoughts or sober feelings. No, absolutely not. There's been many times that I've made a decision or thought someone was cute or rad or awesome, and then when I'm sober, I'm like, oh, hell no. Hell no.
Yes. It just twists everything. It distorts everything.
Yeah.
You know, it is a neurotoxin. It is not good for our brains.
No.
It just makes everything worse. Mm-hmm. I know it may seem fun at the time, but it really is not that good for you.
Yeah.
You know? And
in moderation, ladies, we're not ragging on anyone here who does it in moderation, but it does affect the people around you. It does affect your body heavily if you're doing it every day. Absolutely.
And when you're a stripper, I mean, we're working 6 days. The clubs used to be open 7 days a week.
Yeah.
You know, you are drinking every day. Mm-hmm. Even if it is 1 or 2 or 3, it's still affecting your body. It's still affecting your decision-making and choices.
Yeah, every day, too. That's going to fucking kill your liver faster than anything.
Absolutely. Mm-hmm. We only have one life to live.
Yeah.
You know, and I didn't want to spend mine drunk anymore. I didn't want to be that sloppy drunk dancer. I didn't want to fall off the pole and break my neck.
Yeah.
I wanted to be that professional dancer. I wanted to be that dancer that, you know, people look up to.
I do have to say that back in the day, your show was good, but now your show is fucking phenomenal. You have so many more tricks under your belt. Every time I see you, you're doing something new on stage. It's actually fucking awesome. I love when people really get into I don't even know if pole dancing's your passion, but like when they get really good at their craft, fuck, I love that shit. When people do the bare minimum, it's like, I love your job a little bit, but it's just obvious that you're really loving what you're doing a lot more now. Mm-hmm. That's fucking rad.
Well, you have more control over your body as well.
Oh, fuck, absolutely.
Like, I remember being, you know, drunk on stage and you thrash your body around, you're a little more hard, you're a little more rough. Like,
my handstands are when I drink. That's like the whole reason I don't drink every day is because like I want to be able to hold my handstands.
Exactly.
Yeah. So even if it's a little goal like that you need to grasp onto to remain sober or not drink or anything, definitely like hang on to that.
Yeah.
Hang on to that. Yeah. You know, you don't want to wreck your car. You want to make sure you're home safe for your dog. There's a bunch of reasons to stay sober. Absolutely.
People love you.
Yeah, that's for sure. So when you were in your recovery in the beginning, was there ever moments that you just thought like, fuck it, it's not worth it. I'm just going to go drink again?
Oh, of course. Yeah. Of course. I had a lot of moments where I thought, fuck this. Like, I just want to numb myself. I don't want to feel this stuff. I don't want to deal with this stuff. Mm-hmm. I don't want to fix this stuff. I don't even want to think about this stuff. But drinking wasn't leading me anywhere good. It wasn't leading me anywhere safe.
Yeah.
I definitely, the first few months, I had a lot of nightmares, a lot of like drinking dreams. And just detoxing the body as well.
Oh, that's another question with how often you were drinking. What was the detox like?
Oh, I definitely had the nighttime sweats.
Oh, God.
Oh, for sure. A little bit of the shakes. But it was mostly in my head. It really was. That was a hard time to go through.
What was the thing that helped you the most through your recovery? Was there any like nicotine patches or watching Dr. Phil? Is there anything that like you latched onto while you were getting sober that was like your new fix,
my new thing?
Yeah. Buckley, sweet girl.
Well, you have to remember it was COVID. So
you have nothing but time.
Oh my God.
Buckley, go to your bed, please. Go to your bed.
It's like eating my ear.
I love kisses. Go.
Well, it was COVID time, so a lot of things were closed. A lot of things were online, so I couldn't even go to a meeting if I wanted to. In person, you know. And I wasn't really into the whole online Zoom thing. I didn't really want to be seen, to be honest with you. But my family and my friends, they were my support. You know, if I needed to talk to anybody, they were there for me. Big on the self-care and just being patient with myself.
Yeah.
You know, and being like, you know what? Yeah, today was a hard day, but I got through it and I didn't have to drink over it.
Did you consider or think of COVID as kind of a blessing?
Oh, yeah.
Because like I didn't drink at all over COVID too, and I was like, wow, that was affecting my life. You know, like my skin cleared, I wasn't bloated, all this stuff. It was like, wow, without COVID, I wouldn't have had proper rest for my body to heal all those injuries that I have again right now. Right. And it was a blessing. It was also absolutely fucking traumatic. I'm not going to deny that for everyone coming at us in the comments. Absolutely, it was super traumatic to have everything taken from us. It was very scary. But it was also kind of a blessing. We were forced to rest. Forced a lot of time with ourselves.
No.
Buckley.
No.
Buckley.
You're so big.
Go be stinky over there. I'm not stinky. I had a bath. Go ahead.
Yeah, I guess not having a job to go to definitely helped because I wasn't in the environment. You know, I wasn't in the environment that fueled drinking.
Yeah.
I was able to be away and be, I mean, isolation is not the best thing when you're getting sober or trying to deal with that stuff. Yeah. But I think for me, that's what I needed. I needed to be away from all of that. I needed to have my time, take my time, and really like relearn how to live being sober and how to be out in society being sober and not having to reach out for that drink.
Yeah.
So yeah, it was a blessing for me. Scary time, obviously.
Yeah.
But for my sobriety and my recovery, I think that's what did it. That was the seal of the deal.
Yeah.
Because I had that time to look at myself.
That's awesome. It really is. Coming back to work after COVID and being sober, was it kind of like a culture shock to you? Like, wait, how do I do this sober? Or did you have complete faith? Do you think it was easier than you thought it would be?
Yeah, I had complete faith in myself. I had been out of the clubs for over a year, and I had over a year of sobriety under my belt. So it was easier for me. I couldn't believe how easy it was to turn down drinks, actually.
Really?
Yeah.
Fuck, that is awesome.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Oh, dear, going back to work. Sorry, you might have to cut this part, too.
Sorry about that. I just got whipped cream on you. You're just a baby.
Oh, no, that's not it.
You're just dirty again.
Yeah, going back to work, being sober, being over a year sober, it was easier than I thought. I also went back to work in a club that I had never worked at before. So it was a new environment for me. I didn't have all those memories there. You know, I couldn't look up at a buyout table in the VIP and picture myself kicking all the fucking drinks off the table.
Is that where you kicked them? Was in the VIP?
I
thought you were on stage. I was like, that's awesome.
Oh God, no, I was up in a VIP. It was in a buyout, and yeah, I just kicked the ice bucket, the drinks, the cups, the whatever was on the table. It was now on the floor and in the hallway.
My toxic trait is that I live for this shit. Like when I hear about this stuff at Shade, when someone's like, oh my God, did you hear about this? And I'm like, tell me everything. Where's the mess? I want to look. Who did it? Who said what? You know, like, but looking at the other side of like someone I care about and love deep in their addiction, like that's not my first thought when someone does something extreme at work. My first thought's like, something entertaining, which is so toxic of me to instantly go to be like, entertainment? It's not entertainment. That is someone's struggles or someone having a rough night or something bad happening.
Right.
Yeah. And like, that has definitely given me a new perspective. Wow.
Absolutely.
Yeah.
So returning to a club where I didn't have drinking memories, I think that helped a lot as well. I do work in clubs that I have drinking memories, obviously.
Yeah.
But it doesn't affect me anymore. Like I said, I have done the inner work. I have, you know, like, I guess, mourned that part of my my addiction.
Yeah.
Right? That person that I used to be. I mourn that all. That's, you know, that's the past.
That was going to be my next question is like, do you miss any of it?
Oh God, no.
No?
No, I love life. I love life today. I love life sober.
Hell yeah.
And I can't even picture myself being like that anymore. You know, like I look back and at first I used to be embarrassed and ashamed and, you know, all those shitty feelings. But now it's like, you know, that's part of my journey. There's nothing to be embarrassed about.
Yeah.
You know, I'm sure we all have bad drunk stories or have had a bad drinking night.
One time I yelled at Jay and I called him a fucking asshole and says that he favoritizes people. And like, I didn't yell that at him. Like I screamed it at him in the change room. Why did I need to yell? I wasn't face to face with him, but I was like so upset, tipsy, of course. And like, was the problem that big? No. But like in my head at the time, cause I was drunk. Yeah. That's like, I always think back. I'm like, I never want to get like drunk like that at work. I never want to be that reactive and stuff like that. Cause like, I don't react like that. That is so out of character for me. But like, I was at the end of my rope. No, I was just drunk, you know?
Yeah. Well, that's the thing is it makes us be so unprofessional.
Yes.
You know? And this is a job. What other job in the world can you sit there and get drunk and yell at your managers and still have a job to go to the next day?
Absolutely.
You know?
Yes.
Like we do have to be professional.
Yeah.
'Cause this is a job like any other.
Yeah. It is. And the more professional you are, the more they consider you like an employee they'd like to keep around.
Exactly.
Yeah. I find that the more that I insert myself as like a dominant, I don't want to say mother-like person in the club. I don't know. I definitely want to, like, I don't want to say I'm a leader, but that's what, like, I'm trying to put my image as in the club. Like, I want to be the girl that new girls come to.
Yes.
Super annoying. I have to say it's fucking annoying. Always being the girl that's, like, willing to share their time and their experience. But it is so awesome on my conscience. And, like, I always wanted a girl like that when I started dancing. Why can't I be her, you know? There's other personalities you can be in the club other than the fun drunk, you know?
Totally.
Yeah.
Totally.
And to explore that, feel the feelings, go through life. It's a lot. And I can't say that I do it sober at all, you know? So I really commend you for that because that is quite...
Thank you.
Yeah, that is quite... it's hard to do.
It is hard to do.
Yeah.
It really is hard to do. I mean, now it feels like a piece of cake for me. It just feels like this is who I am. This is who I've always been.
Yeah.
And it's easy. It's easy to live like this when you're happy.
Yeah.
You know? But I still have to watch, right? Because I am an alcoholic. The beast is in there. But it's very easy living life sober when you love who you are and you love life the way it is.
It is. And it does have a lot to do with self-confidence and self-image. And if you aren't happy with who you are or how you're acting or how you look, a lot of it, alcohol can fix that.
Yeah,
it really can. Oh, God. Yeah, I have 3 or 4 shots and, like, I'm comfortable with my naked body. I'm comfortable, like, showing my butthole, my pussy. I don't like showing that at all on stage. But
really?
No, like, people have... You know, Les in Kelowna was like, dude, I've seen you dance for a few years now. He's like, I have no idea what your vagina looks like because I don't open my legs once I'm naked. I'm too self-conscious. I'm like, what if something happens down there? Or like, what if a guy thinks I'm too meaty down there? Or like, I don't know.
Who cares what people think?
I do.
Really?
When I got it tattooed, I'm like, now I'm going to be okay with it because it's cuter. I don't know. It's too vulnerable for me. Like, what if someone spits on me on stage? I don't know. I'm just terrified of anything happening to my pussy.
See, I am more comfortable spreading my legs on stage in the nude than doing this.
Really?
Really?
Yeah.
Like, leading up to this, I was so anxious.
Really?
Oh, yeah.
Yeah.
Oh, yeah. I even had thoughts of, like, just cancel it. Don't do it. Mm-hmm. You know, but then I remembered the message that I'm going to be spreading.
Yes.
Is more important.
I think it's very important to see, like, a cool, talented dancer speak about sobriety. Mm-hmm. I think it's awesome because I know a lot of girls do look up to you. Your message will mean something to someone out there. There's definitely a lot more girls than we know struggling with this.
Yes.
People we wouldn't even consider probably struggling with this.
Yes.
And they need to hear some shit, right?
Well, the biggest inspiration actually was Jersey Fox for me.
Yes.
In around like 2019 when I was starting to question my alcoholism and think about recovery and sobriety. Like, she was somebody that I thought of, you know, because she was sober.
Yeah.
And she had, you know, like, I don't want to say beat alcoholism, but she had been living sober for years, you know? And so I really looked up to her, and she was an inspiration for me. So that helped. It helped knowing that there was another dancer in the industry that was sober.
Yes.
You know?
Absolutely. Because I can't really name that many.
There's not many of us.
No,
There's
at
not
all.
many of us. And, you know, even being sober, nobody can say that I'm fucking boring.
Yeah.
I am not boring.
No, she's not. She's a fucking hoot in the change room, I tell you what. And I do think that people don't think that alcoholism is that serious because no one's really a coke stripper anymore. The cocaine isn't that big of a thing in the strip club at all anymore.
No.
Even when one girl does it, it's obvious. We all know who's doing it, and it's kind of icky. Most of us, like, when we can tell, and we're like, that's not cool, you know, like, you're just acting so different compared to all of us. But when everyone's drunk, it's really easy to get comfortable, think it's okay.
Absolutely.
You know?
Yeah.
There's quite a few girls at Shade, though, who do pull off the sober thing with the fake drinks. And because they work at solely only Shade, it's very easy for them to fake drink and have the shots of water instead of vodka and stuff like that. And I remember one time, this made me laugh so hard. We had all of our fake drinks. We were bought out by that one woman who won the lottery. You know what I'm talking about?
Yep.
And
that's who I took the shot with and I got sent home. Well, it was one of her friends. But yeah.
That's fucking hilarious that she got tied into this story twice. She was one of the customers that you have to drink to be around her. And she does not like when you're sober. She was very bratty and weird and demanding because she had so much money. She felt like she could do it. And she could really kind of push a lot of people's boundaries because she would buy you out for 5, 6, 7 hours.
Right.
So, you know, do you really want to say no to like $2,000 or $3,000? So you'd kind of play along with how much of a bee she could be. And we had our shots lined up. And she's like, I swear to God, if that's more fake shots, I'm going to be pissed. And she grabbed one from the middle and took it, and it was water. She flipped the fuck out. So I don't know how these girls played it off. I think they were playing it off like, I'm already so wasted that like I just was doing water because I wanted to try and keep up with you. And she was so mad. And that always stuck in my head with the fake drinking. Like, you have to sell it. You have to sell that it's like a fake shot. Like, when you take your shot of water, you have to be like, ooh, because the customers will get mad. But realistically, no, it's not like that. But that memory always sticks in my head because those girls, no matter how much money's in front of them, not going to drink.
Right.
Yeah.
Right.
Really commend them for that.
Totally.
Yeah.
I mean, it is hard to be around drunk people when you're not drunk.
Yeah.
But I will say this, I do have a more recovered alcoholics as customers than I did before. That
is another question. Did you ever, I know that you're going to gain sober customers because like sober will lead to, they're going to connect with you more. And like drunk guys obviously want the drunk dancer. And like, if this even goes back into like mentally how you work, I find that the autistic dancers have the autistic customers, everything. Everyone's linked. They always find their type. Totally. People will always mend. Do you find that you lost regular customers because you got sober?
Well, I don't think I lost customers because I left the club for over a year.
I guess so, yeah.
But I do run into customers that I had years previous, and no, they'll buy dances. They'll
yeah.
still tip on stage. You know, they knew me from before and know me now. Mm-hmm. But no, I don't think that it really affected me that much.
That's awesome.
You know, because I do still have customers that drink and get drunk, and I sit there and I entertain them, you know, and help them walk.
Yeah. Help them down the stairs because, oh, God, there's lots of clubs with lots of stairs.
Yep, exactly.
Lots of stairs.
You know, so no, I don't think I lost customers. I still feel like a very successful dancer today.
Hell yeah.
Yeah.
You are very good at your job. I
Thank
found
you.
that. My favorite part about fake drinking at work is when the guy thinks that you're just as drunk as them and how vulnerable they get and like how, inhibition out the window, right? Just like,
Absolutely.
and they think I'm feeling the same and it gets so silly. It's kind of entertaining, you know, shouldn't be laughing at someone's addiction, but it kind of is because they wouldn't treat you that way unless they, like if they knew I was sober or whatever, I know that they wouldn't treat me that same way. Mm-hmm. Yeah, but it's funny that like they will treat you completely different. Doesn't mean they won't spend money on you. So be sober if you want to be sober, absolutely. But I do find it very funny how they change as soon as they think that you're drunk as well. But yeah, they
think they can get away with more shit.
Oh, absolutely. Or that like that you're gonna like them because that's how alcohol does work, right? Like sometimes you gotta put a few drinks in a girl for her to think you're cute. And yeah, it does work because I'm living proof of that. There's definitely been times that I've gotten tipsy on a date and I'm like, I don't even think he's cute the next day. He's not even funny. I was the funny one. He was just laughing at my jokes, you know? Yes, Bucky, those are my feet. Yeah, so do you have any takeaway? How should we end this video? Do you have any words of wisdom, any knowledge to drop that would really help someone?
You know, if you feel like you're struggling with addiction, just know that you're not alone. There are resources out there. There's people to talk to. It can be done. Like absolutely. I'm living proof right here.
Yeah.
You know, and just reach out. Don't be embarrassed. Don't feel ashamed. I mean, addictions affect what is it, like 1 in 4 people now? Even more, maybe?
Yeah. I'd say in our job, like 2 and 4 for sure.
2 out of 4, you know, like 50%.
Yeah.
You know, it's just a part of life and we can deal with it.
It is.
You know?
And the not feeling ashamed thing is a big thing that I think a lot of people need to understand is that when you come to your friends and loved ones with your addiction problems, they already know. They're not going to be like, what? Like, yeah. They know it's affecting you. They know it's affecting them. And they've been waiting for that moment, for sure. And for any new dancer out there, I will say this, that there is, like, not complete funding for us, but there is counseling help. We do have a sign in our change room for, is it the Angel Society?
I believe so, yes.
The Angel Society, and they also have a Instagram, so I will probably link that on the video as well. They do have counseling services for specifically addiction and for sex workers, because I do think it does take a special person to know what being a sex worker is like, especially with addiction and having it around. Those sources are there, and just because the people around you still drink doesn't mean that they can't be a source of help.
Absolutely.
So you don't have to go to someone who's sober, but it is important to open up.
Yeah, start having that conversation.
Absolutely.
Because you never know where it'll get you.
Yeah, you could be fucking Sonja. Look at her. Look at her. I'm actually so fucking proud of you. Thank you so much for being vulnerable on the show with me. I know that it takes a lot to talk about it.
It does. I know. I had to stop sometimes. I'm like, oh, I can't say that.
Yeah.
Oh, I don't want to say that. Oh, that's really hard to talk about.
Yeah.
Because even after almost 4 years, it is. Mm-hmm. I don't normally sit and have these conversations. Probably if we weren't being recorded, it would be a little bit easier to do. But this is like my first time ever being recorded.
Yeah.
Or doing like a video or an interview. So it's a little nerve-wracking.
You did great, I think.
Thank
Absolutely.
you.
And we did it sober.
Yes,
Look at us
we
go.
did.
Hell yeah. So thank you for letting us bitch and moan. If you need to talk to anyone, there are plenty of mental health services within Edmonton or within the world. Please reach out. Please talk to your loved ones, friends, family, managers, someone you look up to. Start the conversation, whether it's about sobriety, mental health, anything that is bugging you. Start talking. It's very important. We love you. Have a great night. Bye.
Bye.